folks, let's talk about block 3, module 2. We're going to talk about bites and stings. Now, the first objective was to research and log 2 herbs that will aid in bites and stings. And I've got several for you that I want to talk about. And it's the first one that I want to talk about. Let's say a bee bites me, and if I can find some plantain. This is something new that I'm just learning about, these herbs and stuff. This is new territory for me. But the first one that I've read about and learned about is called plantain. Now, I haven't found it in my local area yet. It says that the plantain comes around disturbed ground and stuff like that. It's got some features to it. There's a channel on the stem of the plant. On the back of the leaf, there's these real big veins. And if I remember correctly, it has like a stem that comes up the middle, and there's like a little bud on the end of the plant. I'll try to roll in some pictures here on this video if I can of what these plants look like, so you can take a look. So plantain is my first one, and what you could do is you could take those leaves and you could put them in your mouth and chew them up and get saliva on it, and you'll make a spit pulpus, and you'll take that spit pulpus out of your mouth and you'll stick it right on top of the bee sting, and that will help with those bee stings. It's also known as ribgrass, from what I understand. Another one, the second one that I've found in my research, is called calendula, and it's also known as the marigold flower. The flowers are like a orange colored flowers. I'm talking about the second one now, calendula. And on the petals of the flowers, they're not round. They're a member of the daisy family, but on the end of the flowers they have like 3 little, looks like something bit each petal. Like there's 3 little bumps on the end of the petals of the flowers. They have 3 cuts. They're not rounded. Another one, a third one that I'm reading about is called jewelweed. A fourth one is yarrow. I want to talk about field treatment for a venomous snake bite. Now, there's a lot of information here. Okay folks, I want to take a brief moment of your time, and I want to talk about snake bites, and more importantly, how can we prevent them from happening. One of the biggest problems that I see when people become snake bitten is because they're not aware of the situation that they're in. For example, right now there's a downed tree, and I don't know what's on the other side of that tree. So a lot of people get snake bitten because they step right into a snake's habitat not knowing it. So it's important that when you come up to an object like this, that you're scanning the object and you don't see anything. But instead of just stepping right over the object and planting your foot right down here on the ground where my stick is, that could get you snake bit. Because if your foot's right there and you just step your foot over without looking over here, you don't know if there's a snake den right there. And what happens when snakes bite, they do this in defense. When your foot lands right there, they feel threatened. And in defense of that threat, they attack, they bite. So when you come to a log like this, and before you step over, step on the log, lean over and kind of take a look and see what you got going on. If you don't see any snakes, then step over and away from the log. You notice this step right here landed about 3.5, maybe 4 feet away from the log. So I can't stress that enough. So one of the biggest factors in reducing snake bites is just being aware of the type of habitats and things and the way snakes work, so that you can kind of live in the same area with them, and they can have their peace and we can have our peace, and we're not butting heads in the field out here. So how you cross a log like that is a big deal. It could prevent you from getting snake bit. Pit vipers are what we generally see here in the Southwest. We have we have rattlesnakes, and they have what they refer to as a hemotoxic venom. That venom attacks the blood. I'm just reading out of these notes. Plantain is a good plant to use for snake bites if they were wet bites. If you see a snake, you want to back away slowly. You know, if you get bitten, you want to get out of there slowly. Again, you don't want to raise your heart rate up. You don't want that venom to pump into your blood system any faster than it's normally going to do. So you want to wrap that wound. You want to immobilize it as if it was a fracture. Put on a splint. Keep calm. Keep the bite area at heart level, not above or not below. Stay hydrated because vomiting may happen as a result of the venom in bites. Don't use that limb that was bit. Apply a bandage around the site of injury. Don't wash it. Don't wash it, because if you go to the emergency room and you don't know what type of snake it was, a lot of times from what I've read, they can look at the venom that's, you know, on your arm and stuff and possibly determine an antivenom for it. Don't attempt to suck the venom. Try to make an identification of the snake so that the medical personnel can give you the correct antivenom. If you have the ability to do this safely, take the snake with you. Put them in some sort of container or something like that. Don't let it go in the hospital, obviously. I mean, let's have a little common sense here, but that way they can identify the snake, and then they can identify the correct procedure for fixing your wound. Venom can be used to help identify antivenom. Okay, don't cut the thing open, don't use alcohol on it, and don't put a tourniquet on it. Now, when I talk about this, I want to mention that there's conflicting research that I've done on these snake bites. Some resources say that you need to cut the wound and suck the venom out, and other resources say not to do that. All I'm going to say is the resources that I've studied, which is a bunch of different resources. I'm going to trust the people that say don't cut it and don't suck the venom. Also, another thing you want to try to do is note the time that you got bit if you can. It was about noon. It was about 2 o'clock, something like that, so that when you get to the hospital, they have an idea of how long the venom's been in your system. So that's a little bit about snakes, how to do field treatments for snake bites. Now, it says here that I need to give a photocopy of my log pages. I'm just going to show my book right here. A little bit about snakes, snake bites and stuff. And I think there was a little bit on the previous page. This is talking about the different plants and stuff. Again, these plants and wild medicinals are brand new information for me. Let's start right here. So this pretty much concludes Block 3, Module 2. We'll see you on Block 3, Module 3. We're going to be talking about breaks and blisters. So stay tuned. We'll see you then.